Mr. Darko Beast.
Welcome back, New York. Welcome into the Post 90 podcast. I think we have a good one today. We are off the backs of our first game that we got to catch in person, home opener. Although jealous of those that were at home and got to listen to the heavenly Ian audio that we've been robbed of for so long now. But I think we have gone back and we've done some listening. It's that worth it to go back and listen to a game that you saw live.
100%.
So that was cool. Happy that he's returned, and hopefully he can continue to return in different capacities for us. But in general, like there's not a lot to complain about with this game. There's almost nothing to complain about with this game.
I mean, it's a perfect result. I don't think that I expected it to that degree, but I was saying on the way up to the game when we were driving, like, I feel like this could be a lot for us and a little for the other team. Didn't expect that, though. 5 goals is insane. I think it's tied with some of the best home openers we've ever had. Keaton going and getting 2. Obviously, he was playing in a super high position. Like, by the end of the game, they were basically saying Keaton's up there somewhere. Like, that was kind of the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
But just insane. And good to get back to the stadium. I think we said it was like almost a year since we've been there.
I think so, yeah. We were trying to pinpoint it. I think it was a year, which is crazy. So I think maybe we'll be back soon for the Miami game, a Sunday or two from now. So that should be fun. But yeah, I mean, everybody showed up. Like, we showed up, players showed up, the fans showed up. Yeah, I mean, some of the players that we talked about, just going down the list, like Nico, I feel like I've been pretty critical of at times, even in our first 2 episodes this season. And I thought you kind of like hit the nail on the head perfectly with pumping the brakes on kind of the thoughts that I had previously, where we played 2 really good teams, and they were kind of random situations that we were in prior, and you kind of give Nico time to cook. And then I thought he came out in this game and he looked great alongside also Ojeda, who again, as long as his brain is not mush at this moment after being down for so long, or any other thing that went on with him, because he was getting beat up all game, but like they both got to cook up top.
Yeah, and I think with Ojeda, I believe it was a knee or a calf from Keaton that actually was the thing that put him down. So I think we were all shocked to see him come back into the game, and then for him to come back and still have the impact that he did was kind of crazy. That was 100% let me show what I can do. And I think this team in general, everybody thrives on the smaller field, Yankee Stadium. The more compact you give this team, less space, they're going to do more with it. I don't know how that works, but it certainly makes MLS Twitter super pissed off, which is always fun to watch. But yeah, I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say like coming out games, but a lot of guys that weren't performing well that we wanted to see more from that had damn near close to 10 out of 10 performances.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I thought it was interesting too that Pascal ended up going with Kai over Raul, who I think was maybe the one person that we called out in our past episode is, if you had to pick somebody to be upset about, there wasn't much to be upset about through those first 2 games, but maybe he was the guy, and it felt like maybe Pascal honed in a bit on that too. And I know he got asked about it in the post game, and he didn't elaborate a ton on what the reason for the decision was, despite being asked. But I think it proved to be a good one. Like, I was happy to get to see Kai in person for the first time. He does kind of give you that Justin Hack feel, and I feel qualified to say that as the Justin Hack podcast. But like, that's kind of the vibe I got. And then I know Raul came in at the end, and Kai was able to move up to that midfield role, and so it was really shades of Hack in a way. But he like put in a really solid shift, the kind of shift where you don't see too much from him, but the fact that you don't is meaning that he's doing a good job.
Yeah, and I think if you're pointing to comparisons about him and Hack, like the comfort I felt with Kai going, like pushing forward into the midfield, and kind of when Raul actually did come in, I don't know, I feel more confident with Kai in midfield than I did with Hack. Like, I think Hack was more of a true defender who could play balls, who could play in the midfield if we needed to. But Kai, I feel like he could potentially be a starter at either of those positions. and one that you wouldn't necessarily want to take out of that role. Not saying that he's better, worse, whatever. It was just like a comfortability that I felt in that moment. Granted, I do think it has to be said how terrible Orlando is. Like that is genuinely a horrible team. They didn't defend well. Their keeper, I don't even know if he's on the team at this point anymore. If I was the GM, he wouldn't be. And you could say that for either one of the two goalkeepers, but like they genuinely, I don't know if they ever got off the bus. It was that bad.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that type of foul. I've never seen a pro goalkeeper actually catch the ball outside of the box and get the straight red for it. I saw he got fined today because he took too long to get off the field, which was definitely the case as we were there. Like, it was pretty clear with the first replay that we saw in the stadium that he was out.
Yeah.
And it just like gives us a third game in a row where we're playing against 10 men. And it's a bit annoying because it's like it kind of takes away from what you're expecting to see from the team and how much you can really take from it. And Pascal kind of talked about that too. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Have we ever had like 3 games in a row where we've gotten a red card against the other team?
Think you would have, I think you'd be searching for a while to find any team that's had that situation.
Yeah, it's weird. And then yeah, one is a goalkeeper too, and then obviously we were just able to abuse the backup. I think Trey and Alec in the press box were talking about it, that it was so important for us to immediately score because we saw what Orlando planned to do. It seemed like even if they had all their men, which was put everybody behind the ball, hunker down and put up a brick wall and just see what you can do to stop us from scoring. So I think that goal to put us up 1-0 like kind of gave us the confidence, I guess, that we needed to not allow 10 men to just sit behind the ball and drag out like a 0-0 tie.
But no, it was also weird for me because I guess I'm just not educated on the rule. But if I don't know if you're, well, obviously you'll remember when I give you the context. When Orlando got that red card against us in, I want to say the MLS is back tournament, and then Schlegel ended up going in goal because they couldn't make a sub. Was that because they were out of subs, or they just couldn't in that situation make the sub? Like that to me was all weird because I was expecting there to be like a field player in, and then they would try to kick the ball out and make the sub quickly. But I just don't know why they were able to even
I don't
get a
know.
sub on there. I'm not educated on it.
Danny and I were talking about that too in the box, and I'm not sure. Was the red card like when Schlegel got in goal? Did the red card happen during penalties? Like in the midst of a
It
penalty
was
shootout?
given.
Like I thought we were in.
Oh, it was. Yes, we were in the middle of a penalty shootout, and he stepped off. Their keeper stepped off the line,
Okay, and then he got like a
and so
second
I
yellow,
guess,
maybe.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
something.
I think that's.
Yeah, it was a really like weird situation. But
I
they,
just assumed that you would have to wait for another phase of play to go through to be able to make that sub.
or even if it was penalties at that point in that game, they would have had to have been out of subs. You would think they would have like exhausted them all. So
But then there's even like the you get an extra sub
for extra time.
during. Yeah, I don't know. It's all weird. I was expecting there to be a field player in goal, and so I was kind of silently hoping for Nico to put it into a corner or put it low,
Yeah.
um, against somebody who couldn't make that play. But apparently
So,
those are not the rules.
well, I was gonna say their backup was just as good as a field player at not making a play when it came to saving things. So
Dude, I feel like Brian could get in there and play better than that dude
that's what I'm
with a bum
saying.
wrist.
It's
Like
tough.
it was. I mean, on one hand, you feel bad for him because I mean he went to the stadium that day thinking that he's going to be on the bench the entire time, being somebody who's only there to be a good teammate, and obviously he's put in that position where immediately under pressure, immediately, a dangerous set piece that's right at the edge of your box. I mean, couldn't get any closer, or it's a penalty, right? So, like, on one hand, I feel for you, but you are a professional at the end of the day. Like, you do train your entire life to be in that position.
Yeah.
And every week you're going to practice, you are thinking, I'm going to do something potentially this week that could get me into the starting job. So you want your mentality is that you want to be in that position. So at the end of the day, get five put on your head. That's on you.
It's just like, yeah, bad place, bad timing against a hungry NYCFC team that I feel like, at that point really hadn't had the opportunity to express themselves in attack like the way that a lot of us would expect.
Yeah.
So T's and P's, I don't know. You have to imagine as you're coming into it, you're like, this is finally my chance to like get a contract with another team or so, take the next step, and then it just,
To the USL
you
you
know,
go.
it swings the
Unfortunately,
complete opposite way.
he has been promoted to a starter in the USL.
Yeah, that sucks. And then you feel for the field player too. We talked about it in the press box, but like the
Yeah.
coach had his pick of 10 guys to take off the field for a goalkeeper, and he shoot, somebody has to be the guy, and that guy gets yanked too. So that says something about your team. I don't know. It's a tough time to be an Orlando fan right now, I'm sure, after the Miami comeback last week and then this. I don't know. One thing I had on my mind, like after the game or towards the end of the game, was like thinking how we came into the league at the same time as Orlando, and like how differently our two clubs have kind of panned out thus far. Like it's night and day. It's totally different.
Yeah. I wonder if that's kind of a symptom of the different viewpoints or, I guess, strategies in terms of what players you sign, and the amount of money that you're willing to pay for players. And maybe that's like a sobering fact that you don't just go and sign the best, oldest player you can to get ticket sales. Like you do kind of have to cook to build a team that can sustain, being above the playoff line every single year. But I mean, they're definitely in a dip because of the decisions they've made in the past, for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about too how they have like not gone the LA Galaxy route to try to like compete with their local market team in Miami. Like you think they would be splashing cash to like try to remain relevant there, but I don't know. If anything, I pray that Griezmann was maybe watching the game of a future home, as some have rumored on Twitter, and he decided that the blue team looked a bit more appealing than the yellow team on the day. Those jerseys too has to go without saying. We've
Yeah,
we've dunked on
they were
Orlando a lot
hideous.
this episode, but those were potentially the worst jerseys, full kits I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. And not, I mean, not to be looking for like a needle in a haystack, but Griezmann does have blue hair. I'm just saying,
I'm just saying.
currently,
And
as of today.
the stadium's coming up too. I don't know if we talked about this. Did we talk about this on air last time, or maybe we talked about it in the car ride up? But like, we are getting to the point where we're 2 windows away from the stadium being open, maybe 3.
I mean, we got like summer window,
Summer,
the mid-season window that's coming up. Then you have a preseason window.
and then we're on the
Then
world
and then that's
schedule.
like yeah, then that's the mini run up, right?
Yeah,
It'd be the preseason to the mini run up, and then you get the full transfer window after that. So you got a couple windows to make moves for that season. Maxi's not going to be here forever, although I think he may have had the sleeper performance, 2 assists and a goal, and he was taken off I think in like the 60th minute or something like that, around that time. He's not going to be here forever. You have question marks at 10, at 9, at 6, 8. I mean, in terms of the long term, you have a lot of question marks of who's going to be here, who's going to be able to stick around, who's going to be poached. Is like a Matt Freese going to be able to stay and be in the MLS in a year or two? Probably not. If he's continuing at his current pace, he's going to be gone off in Europe somewhere. So there's a lot of important windows, but like I just said, it's hard to hate on the front office if they've sustained this kind of success, or you can call it success above the playoff line type of standard.
yeah. I was gonna ask you to speak about Maximo because I felt like that is a potential solution if he doesn't get swooped up in the way that some people in the past have, like Scally, or different players like that. He looked, I think, Granted, he's coming into a 5-0 game at home. This is not necessarily his debut. He's already made his debut, so the stress levels are pretty low. But like he looked infinitely, I think, more comfortable on the ball than anything that we've seen in the past as far as MLS minutes go.
Yeah, I do think the confidence of coming into a game that you can't screw up, like that, you can't ignore that fact, but you can just see it in his body language. Like we've gone out to Hartford and seen him um, play in I think it was the Open Cup against Hartford. We've seen him in a couple of NYCFC 2 games where you could tell his body language is confident for that level. And as it should be, he's good enough to be on the bench for the MLS. He should be very confident in an MLS next pro game. But this was the first time that we've seen that body language in the pro game, which, like, if he could duplicate that and kind of give us half of that in games here and there, yeah, I mean, you could be looking at not a super sub, but somebody who can come in and give you genuine minutes and give people rest that may not otherwise like get that. So I want him to. I mean, he's super young. He's got a long road ahead of him. Obviously, he's got to go through the hack treatment and like get his body weight up, get in the gym. But there's good pieces there. I think in terms of youth, it's really him and Johnny that could be the future for us.
I think another name that you can throw into the hat too is Baera. I feel
True.
like the few minutes that he's gotten in some of these early games have been like pretty promising, and they're in positions where we don't have a ton of depth. I feel like this hasn't been talked about much, or if at all, across our podcast, across any podcast or the community. But like, we loaned Micha out this season, and he's a player that got a lot of minutes over the last few years, like a lot of minutes, and not. I don't know, not having him here kind of opened that door for Baera to be what I think we would hope he could be. But we have kind of these different players, whether it's Seymour in attack, Maximo in midfield, and Baera in the defense, that there's like I don't know, there's like a essence of youth there, and all of them are kind of looking impressive, somewhat impressive. I don't want to talk about all three of them that way, but looking decent when they come on the field, especially
Yeah.
Maximo and Baera.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw Seymour a bone for this game as well. Like he came in, he looked confident. I think he had some of his best moments for the team in that game. But then again, you can go back and say, up a ton, not anything to lose in the game. It's a lot easier to feel confident. And obviously, I mean, you're looking at the team and you can see that they're levels below what any other team would give you in the league. But I thought his hold up play was good or decent. Like you could see that there's a potential there for that to be kind of his like main play style. He can also get in behind. He's got a lot of good qualities. It's just whether or not he can keep that confidence and keep sort of building on these small performances. And it's tough to do that within the 15, 20 minutes that you get potentially in a week.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to lean on him. The other thing Pascal talked about after the game was a little bit about Tales, but what he mentioned is like Tales is not 90-minute ready, and we're approaching parts of the MLS schedule where you have to play 3 games in 9 days, and I think that will be when we start to find out a lot about these kids, like a lot about Baera, Maximo, Seymour. Like they're gonna have to fill pretty substantial minutes because at the moment they are our depth for a lot of these positions. And yeah, when you get into those schedules where, you are playing that many games in such a short amount of time, we had other competitions, Leagues Cup and stuff with rotations. It's like exciting. I think that we're going to get to find out, I think, a lot more about those 3 guys specifically this year, compared to like in years past where it felt like we haven't had as much of a youth-minded coach.
Yeah. I guess I kind of want to make a bold statement, but it's more of like a bold request. Like, don't even sign a striker. I don't think. I don't think it's worth it at this point. Did you see the finish from Tallis? Like the one that didn't count, from
Yeah,
the ball from
but
O'Neal.
did you see the
Like
ball? That's
the
not.
ball
Yeah,
was crazy.
don't bury the lead. Like Aiden picking that ball up in midfield, and then that turn that he hit on the defender and fucking hit that shit up to Tales was. I didn't
It
know
was
Aiden had that in his
disgusting.
bag. Like
I didn't either. I don't know if Aiden knew he had it.
we speak very highly about Aiden on this podcast, but like even to our credit, like we did not know that that was in Aiden's bag. So I don't
It
know.
was, but the finish was equal to the assist. I feel
Yeah,
it was pretty nice, and like the variety of positions you could play Tallis in, just the flair that he gives. I feel like he's got more maturity and moxie when he walks around now. Like it's a different. I don't know what it was. There was like a funk with him and Nick Cushing that just he couldn't shake, and I think he's got weight lifted off of his shoulders. I think he's comfortable in the position that he's in. Maybe taking off and playing in Brazil for a while genuinely was the key to getting him back to confident, strong play. But like he needs to get fit as quick as possible and be a part of this team because he could genuinely be a game wrecker, like 100%. You could see that in him.
yeah. That's one thing I love about Pascal too is how transparent he is because I think we spent an hour on our last two episodes talking about being not understanding of why Tales was not playing more minutes than he is currently. And like now we know it's a fitness issue and like everybody can move on from that. Not an issue, but like he needs to get back up to speed, obviously. Every player does coming out of the off season and he had injuries that, were a factor in that as well. But like now we know we can move on and we can be happy with like the minutes that we do get from him. And yeah, that was a crazy finish. He does have an air of like confidence and maturity to him. I don't know if maybe this is all armchairing, but maybe he felt bigger than Nick Cushing. Sometimes like players feel
Mm.
bigger than clubs, and now I don't know. I guess maybe there's a different respect level between him and Pascal. I feel like Pascal said something about that in the preseason that when Tales came back, neither Tales nor the team or Pascal were sure that like he was going to stick around. And then it sounded like they had a conversation, and like a training or two happened, and like they both kind of felt comfortable with the situation. So I think you're right. It
Yeah,
felt like there was a lot of discomfort prior. That's not there. So hoping that when you unlock Tales, like we get 90 minutes out of him, it could be an issue if some of these other guys are showing up as well.
100%. And just, I don't know, maybe it was a humbling experience to go back to Brazil. That could be the case. To kind of, if you think about his timeline, he kind of came into the team at its peak. I think NYCFC's best period was when he was young and first signed. He obviously immediately goes and wins a championship with the team, goes to the Eastern Conference final the next season. When that happens and you're kind of playing decent ball and you're getting in the lineup, you kind of expect that to always happen. And then, you have a couple of down years, a year where you miss the playoffs. And I think you can kind of get in that toxic mindset to where you're like, this isn't what I expected. This isn't what I was here for. So maybe shipping him off to Brazil, he gets that time to kind of remember his roots a little bit and kind of what the level he could be playing at if he doesn't lock in mentally. And then this is the result
Yeah,
of all that. And I hope.
I hope too. That's what I was gonna say. I hope so. I'm just excited to see. I'm just excited to get like into the middle of the season when we know a bit more about the players and about the team in general, and don't have to make so many hopes or copes like we are in the current moment.
Hey, is it hope or cope if you're sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference? Like, I don't know. At the time of recording, we're sitting number one. I
Yeah,
think obviously there's a couple of teams that on paper are better, or would garner more respect or kind of the favorite tag if we were to, go match up with them. But I got all the confidence in the world. I don't want to overreact. Obviously, it's a shit team in Orlando. Two tough road games, but two tough road games where you come out with something. Like you left with something.
yeah. I was gonna ask if you had seen like any of the media, I guess, outside of the NYCFC community because I haven't really, but I'm not sure if they're like if they're glazing us, if they're like, hey, they played 3 teams and all of them were down a man, like I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know where the
no, I don't know.
temperature's at.
I try to keep my mind pure sometimes with what I'm thinking. Like I kind of just don't want to be swayed too far in any direction, but I would have to assume the vibes are high. You can't be sitting in first and be mad. I mean, Coach Joe maybe would be, but
Yeah.
but the vibes are high over here.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to keep it rolling. We have Colorado next. Another home game. We got a home stretch here. We have Colorado, Miami, and then St. Louis. Miami is obviously the marquee matchup in that one, like we said, looking to be there. But yeah, I think I like our chances against Colorado. I'm gonna admittedly though I'm saying that with almost no knowledge of Colorado's team, how they've
I
done
think
thus
they're
far.
mid-table in the West.
Didn't they got like a pretty big name player, no, in the off season? I could be
I
capping.
know Minnesota got James.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. I knew one of those like cold weather
Yeah,
states.
Minnesota got James. But I don't even know if he's made a debut yet to this
Yeah.
point.
I saw him like freezing on the sideline and they were like, there's no way that
Yeah,
this is what Hamas signed up for.
that's not what he envisioned. I mean, he
Yeah.
could be freezing on our sideline for. I mean, if the front office listened to us 2 years ago when we called for it.
Yeah. Well, New York City also looks a little bit different than Minnesota. I feel like we have to start using that as a selling piece or
Well,
something. Like,
according to the GM, or I guess the sporting director, whatever his tag is, the stadium is going to be the draw for us. That's what he came out and said.
yeah.
So I hope, but I also don't. I don't hold my breath in terms of trying to get like a David Villa or Pirlo of the past. I think those days are over. 100%. I think they're going with youth and letting youth become a star rather than trying to buy stars,
Yeah, now that
which I think
we've
I'm fine with.
yeah, we now that it's working, it is a lot easier to get
Yeah,
behind.
it has to be working. If not, then it's like, all right, well, we have a great transfer balance, but
Well,
we're not doing anything with it.
you have to have a Pascal to make it work. So we're lucky. We're lucky in that respect right now.
Fair enough. Do you think? Because I think we were pretty, I guess, not glazing, Cushing, but like willing to let him cook for longer than I think we should have.
Like me and
Are
you
you
or
over
the
it?
club?
Yeah, as a show.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely were. I think we were a bit like enamored with the man pause. But just I think we got to not spend a lot more time with him, but have a lot more interactions with him than we've had with other coaches of the past. And like I don't think anybody's denying that Cushing is like very much like a guy's guy. Like he's the guy that you want in the locker room. There's the famous clip of him singing the song or the chant with the team and the team staff. I think it was either after or before we won the cup. I think after. Obviously, a very likable guy, and I think maybe we were swept up in that the charisma that got him as far I
I
think as he's
certainly was.
gotten. Yeah. When you're
I mean, it
walking
took.
through the tunnels of Yankee Stadium and he walks by and he fucking slaps your back. He's like, "How's it going, lad?" And I mean that
Yeah,
is
he got me
about
with it.
that's about all it takes to get Justin
Yeah,
to help sign your checks for the next year.
I um, I was fully bought into the cult at that point with the Cushing cult.
But I think
You know,
so. I say yes. I would say admittedly caught. You got me.
red-handed, and it won't. I would like to think it wouldn't happen again.
But I can't say it won't.
I can't say it won't. I can't say it won't.
Yeah. Hey, that's being a fan. That's what being a fan first and a podcast host second gets you.
Which is hard. And I'll be fully honest, I almost forgot the code of conduct while being in the press box because of how just crazy the game was going.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier, it had been close to a year since we'd been there. So it was like, I don't know, a weird but good feeling.
Yeah. Well, and Danny had asked too from the City Boys like where we had been, and I know we had been off for a while, and like the only not excuse but like reason I could give is like we genuinely are like fans first. Like we got spanked by Miami
Yeah.
in the playoffs. after two of our starting players tore their ACLs in the week leading up, and like it took time mentally like to get over that. Like it's not just
100%.
yeah. It's hard to put on, the poker face and hop on the pod and not ruin our reputation if we speak in the moment emotionally about what we felt like happened.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, after Miami, it would have been curtains. It would have been, however many seasons we're deep into this, that would be the final season and signing off here and just kind of being like
yeah,
going off into the sunset as season ticket holders and calling it a day.
yeah, and I feel like that's what people
It
are
was
here
rough.
for. Like we're honest about that. We often get on the mics 2 or 3 days later than we probably should have otherwise responsibly as show hosts because we were like we needed the 48 to cool off.
Yeah,
And that
100%.
yeah, I mean I like being that too.
That good or bad too. Like, I think we're pretty self-aware of when we know we're gonna come in here and just speak straight bullshit, glaze, unrealistic expectations
Who did we
because we won.
say could be the next KDB?
Oh God,
Was that
is it bad that we don't even remember?
in the lost episode of the
Oh,
lost?
was it Hannes?
I think it was Hannes.
I don't even know if he could be the next Hannes.
No, Hannes.
He's like, whose boots he's filling? Jesus Medina. He's got to fill those boots before we could even get him to like Mikey Lopez level.
Personally, though, I'm taking Hannes over Medina if I had both of them
Bugging out. You're
in
crazy.
in their NYCFC prime right
You're
now.
crazy.
I am. I don't know why. I don't know which one of us was the one that said that about Hannes, but whenever I heard his name attached to KDB, I think it was over at that point. It was like, all right, well, I have to protect this man with my life. So,
Well, no, it was one game where he catfished us and had us believing that he could do that every week, which I think he's playing at a higher level than he was back then, but in a different way. I don't think he's necessarily the creator or anything like that we thought he would be, but he's an above average winger for the MLS that's been playing decently well out left. But I think that's a pretty good summary.
that's fair. Yeah. He is one of the players, I think, on our roster where, like, this is a prove it year. Like, I don't know, Hannes has been with us for a pretty good amount of time now. I don't know exactly what the contract looks like, but he's one of those players where it's like we got to see something this year. I feel like Ojeda is in that role too, but I may be the only one that thinks like that about him because he's so young. But there's a few of them where it's like we're looking to see if something can happen with you this year to tell us that we need to have you around for future years. So we'll see what happens. I like your assessment. Like he's kind of doing winger right in a non-flashy way right now.
Yeah.
Which is not typically what you want out of your
Consistent.
winger, but yeah, we'll take it.
Very consistent. You'll get a goal every couple of games. You'll get a really good run that doesn't end up in anything, but that's okay because it like gets the crowd kind of into the game a little bit more if there was a dead point. I have no notes. I think they just keep doing, but you're gonna have those like 9 out of 10 games where you come in here and you're like, holy shit, Hannes is kind of becoming what we all thought he would be, and then it's back to normal. So
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
All that to say, we're fan first, and when
Yeah.
we need to take time because our thoughts would be bad, we also have to take time because our thoughts will be too good. Too
Correct.
Yeah, the pendulum swings on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 172.
Correct.
Appreciate you guys sticking
Oh,
around.
we forgot again. Shameless plug.
That's the meme at this point. Post any
There's
pod.
pretty much there's 3 guarantees. Waffling, not doing shameless plug, and finding a random player to glaze for the day
Or the season at times.
this season.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember when I went on Blue City Radio and I said Matty would be our goal leader one year. I don't think he lasted on the team beyond that year.
No,
Yeah, that's a
which is
lost.
fine.
That's a lost legend.
It's fine.
Yeah, they don't
I mean, he
listen.
had a crazy goal though. To be fair,
Yeah, I know the goal. The goal heard around the world. That's
heard
it.
around, heard around Miami maybe.
Yeah, they don't. They don't listen to us for our takes. I think in terms of accuracy's sake. I hope.
No, I, if somebody took notes of what's correct and what's not, like a fact checker, we'd be around. We'd be like loosely correct.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably wrong too. Like that's not even
Anyways,
correct. Like we're
that was
definitely
episode what?
172.
Episode 172. We've done it so little I don't even remember the outro. So,
I don't
oh
even.
yeah, follow anywhere you get a podcast, you'll listen to that. If you listen this far, clearly you don't hate listening to us. So try to listen to us more. You can do that by any means you'd like.
True,
Talk
and
to us on Twitter.
we
That's where
will
we like to talk to people.
talk to you guys after the Colorado game. See
Peace.
ya. Peace.
Produced by Mr. Darko Beats.